Meanwhile, Virginia has become the first state in the South to ban individuals charged with killing LGBTQ people from using so-called gay and trans panic as a defense for lesser charges or a reduced sentence. The legal defense has allowed individuals accused of murder or manslaughter to argue that the victim's gender identity or sexual orientation was what provoked them to commit the crime. The legislation was introduced by Virginia House Delegate Danica Roem, who became the first transgender lawmaker elected to a state legislature.
So there's a law on the books. This, what was the name? I'm sorry. What's the name of that provision? It's the
gay panic.
The gay panic, the gay panic defense, and this exists apparently in every state in the South. They're the first. This is a law that was on the books everywhere, and then Virginia becomes the first state in the South. This initiative was led by a trans woman who was, I believe, the first trans woman elected to a state legislature, Danica Roem, and so it was. This is a great step forward for Virginia for sure, and I'm happy that it's such a wildly just anti-trans, anti-gay, just homophobic, transphobic legislation that allows people to, it's like the opposite of like a hate crime law. Like it's the opposite. It's like, because this person was a marginalized identity, they made me kill them. It's like if you were like, oh, well, he's black, so I had to kill him. It's
scared.
Like,
it's
exactly.
It's built on the framework of the temporary insanity defense.
Yeah, that's wild. That it's like, and it's this. It's the exact opposite. As if like people need to be afraid of trans people, when the reality is that like trans people need to be afraid of cis people, because they're the ones that have been disproportionately, attacked by, the cis people have been attacking trans people for, as long, time immemorial at this stage. So
they need to be afraid of them, not just because they are attacking and killing them, but also they're doing it and then using this as the defense.
Yeah, fucking crazy. Yeah. So these are laws that shouldn't be on the books anywhere. And I just think that it's important to know that they exist. I don't know if everyone is even aware. I wasn't aware. So I am fully, I cover this stuff for like a living. I pay attention to this stuff constantly, but there's so many things that just fly under the radar. And it's really, it's a damn shame that laws like this have ever existed, but they're clearly discriminatory laws that must be repealed everywhere that they exist. So I don't know, everyone else in the South, and I'm sure there's places in the North. This was just the first place in the South. I don't know that means, and I should check this out. I don't know if that means that there's nowhere in the North that has this law on the books, but it's not necessarily the case.
Some places that it's been banned, some places pretty recently. Oh goodness. There's a consideration to ban it in Massachusetts.
Jesus. So right where we are, apparently. They're only considering it. They're only considering it right where we are. So this is wild. So if you're in Massachusetts, that's I cannot believe that we can put discriminatory laws like that on the books. Like that's just, and that we still keep these on to this day. Like that's really vile and disgusting. And
not enough places. This is not illegal. This is not banned in not enough places.
What are you like? How many where else? Like how many places is it like?
It looks like California banned it in 2014, Illinois 2017, Rhode Island 2018.
Wow!
These 2019.
Jesus Christ! This is all like within the last 7 years.
California was the first place to do it
in 2014,
and then. Everybody else has been doing it in 2019, and a ton of places are considering it as of 2021.
Wow. So it's still on the books in Massachusetts. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Shit. I need to remember to call a legislator or something and call you a congressperson and fucking tell them that this is crazy.
It thankfully doesn't look like there's, well, maybe, no, there's some states on here that,
yeah, call your legislator.
I see 50 states here, so it looks like there's some places that aren't even considering it.
Yeah, wow, that's wild. Yeah, so there's plenty of places in the South that are these. Again, no state in the South has banned it yet, besides Virginia. So they're the first. Hopefully, more will follow, because this is just common sense law to me. Just common sense. How can you say that? How can you blame the victim? It's just a total. It's your fault, because of your identity. It caused me to need to harm you. Like, that's absurd. Totally absurd. Disgusting. Should not exist anywhere.
Will this apply? Can you use this same logic when it comes to, like, I don't know, like conservatives? Like, I was afraid MAGA people say racist stuff sometimes. I seen him coming out with the MAGA hat, Is that, do we need to bring that up for them to see, like, why maybe this defense isn't a great idea?
Yeah, like, yeah, absolutely. That's terrible. It's terrible stuff. This is awful. So, all right, I just like, definitely, call your legislator wherever you are, and make the state. Just tell them, this is unacceptable. You can find, what's the site? Who's my rep? If you Google just like who's my rep, there's a website that will tell you who your representatives are. Contact them and tell them this is completely, utterly unacceptable, and they need to ban this defense from the books. This gay panic defense is absolutely discriminatory.